last year I was faced to decide what I should do for my sophomore project. And I've always had an interest in two main things: computers and, well, it's more like random doodling, not really art. Anyway, that's when I decided to make a tutorial video on animating in Photoshop. And with the help of my advisor, Mr. Ryan, I was able to do that. The sad part is, the video itself is actually longer than I have here. So I decided to make a simple little tiny URL for it that's really easy to remember, and it will stick in your mind if you really want to go see it. The tiny URL is www.tinyurl.com/DavidOProj. The next part of my project was to write a paper, which concerned me because there isn't really anything to write about. So I just decided to write about animation's history. It was easier to research, and I do have to admit it was pretty interesting. I googled the history of animation and found some sites that gave some solid information on it. Because of these reasons, I decided to talk about that with you today, rather than trying to describe the process of my project without just saying, I planned, I procrastinated, I finished. So, apparently, animation didn't start in the mid-1800s like one would think. There were hints of the concept of moving pictures from around 5,200 years ago. Animation didn't really come to the attention of the public until around 1650. There, the magical lantern was introduced. After the magical lantern faded out of existence, animation made its comeback in the 1800s with the thaumatrope, phenakistoscope, zoetrope, flipbook, and praxinoscope. All great things, but animation's big boom in popularity was with the invention of the kinetoscope and the cinematograph. Soon, the cinematograph's popularity soared, and popular and unique cartoons like the Humpty Dumpty Circus and Gertie the Wonderfully Trained Dinosaurus arose, and were placed in what is now known to be the silent era. Someone that I'm pretty sure you all know, known as Walt Disney, had an earlier company called Laugh-O-Grams that went bankrupt. He started a new studio in LA, and well, yeah, it's pretty obvious where he is today. Anyway, skipping ahead to the 1930s, the studio Warner Brothers was founded, and they did very well despite the fact that their competition was Disney. The reason for this was because they allowed more freedom in release times, which let animators develop much more unique styles, while at Disney, all of the release times were controlled by Disney himself. Then Technicolor came out, which was a huge milestone for these guys, despite how much it doesn't really sound like it. Technicolor was a coloring technique used to make much more brighter and fuller colors. Soon afterward, the television era commenced as Hanna-Barbera started releasing half-hour cartoons like Huckleberry Hound and the Flintstones. And we soon catch up to the modern period of animation, where animation is so much more complicated.